guys, Trevor here from We Need to Talk About Movies podcast. Back in front of the DVDs today means that it's time for another selection from my films that I own but I haven't watched yet. Here we go, here's my box of titles. Okay, got one. Crazy Heart. Yeah. Crazy Heart. Now this is one I've owned for a long time and have always wanted to watch, and I've gone to choose it on a lot of occasions, but then I was like, choose something else. So, winner of 2 Academy Awards, Jeff Bridges for Best Actor and Best Original Song, The Weary Kind. Academy Award winner Jeff Bridges delivers the performance of a lifetime in Crazy Heart, powerful story of a country music star's rocky road to redemption. Bridges stars as Bad Blake, a boozy, broken down singer who reaches for salvation with the help of Jean, Maggie Gyllenhaal. But will Bad's hard living ways and Crazy Heart cost him his last chance at a comeback? So, Jeff Bridges, Maggie Gyllenhaal. On the back we can see there's Robert Duvall in there as well. Yeah, one I'm really keen to watch. So why don't we go and watch that now? And I'll give you my brief first impressions afterwards. Okay, so Crazy Heart. Another film I really enjoyed, actually. There's something about Jeff Bridges in these. He's just a legend. Ever since playing the dude in The Big Lebowski, from the outset you're almost put in mind of Big Lebowski. He's got the long hair, he's got the beard. He turns up in a bowling alley and it's framed the same as he gets to the bar at the bowling alley. It's almost framed the same as when he meets the stranger in the bowling alley at the beginning of Big Lebowski. Whether that's done just to sort of as a callback to the Big Lebowski, I don't know. You know, we join Jeff Bridges. He's a country singer on the road. There's something about this story that I thought, it's the same sort of story we've seen quite a bit. Reminds me of the Clint Eastwood film, and especially at the beginning where Jeff Bridges, he's picking out his booze for his show, so he's an alcoholic and he's coughing up, he's coughing a lot. At the beginning when Maggie Gyllenhaal is interviewing Bad Blake, she asks what his real name is and he says, "I'm always going to be Bad Blake and no one's going to know my name until it turns up on a gravestone." And it's this ominous foretelling, and you think, well, you know where this story's going from that. Oh, he's obviously in a rut, playing these sort of dead-end jobs at the waning end of a decent career. He's quite resentful of the fact that he's now just sort of working for these tiny little bars and bowling alleys for peanuts. He can't even afford to pay for his drinks. So he's a country singer called Bad Blake, and he's interviewed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, who I haven't seen in anything for ages, actually. She's lovely, isn't she? She's great in this. The relationship between her and her son is portrayed really well, and she sees this side of Jeff Bridges. They sort of fall in love, and it brings out this side of him that's obviously been buried under years of sort of travelling the road, self-absorbed sort of obsession and alcoholism. He befriends her and her son, and you can see that she's torn between being not awestruck as such, but she sees this kindness in him, and she's falling for him, but she can also see this darker side of him, and they sort of form this friendship, and you can see it's making him think of times of his own life that he's missed and his own son. But the question is it going to be enough? Is he too far gone to sort of put errors of his ways right? It's humorous from the outset. There's lots of good comedy in it, and it's a really warm film, and sort of the Texas landscape, massive vistas of rolling clouds for miles and miles. It really is an interesting, warm looking film. So it got me thinking as I was watching it who the director was. So I looked up the name of the director. The name didn't ring a bell to me, Scott Cooper. But then I did notice that he'd done a couple of films that I had seen. One, Black Mass, which I mentioned in our Departed podcast the other week. A gangster film all about Whitey Bulger, played by Johnny Depp in the film. A really good film. The other one was a film called Get Low, which I had seen. It's been in my mind, but I could never remember what it was called. It's a really good film. I'm going to have to try and dig it out, because it was Bill Murray, Robert Duvall. It's another story of redemption, of a bit like this. Anyway, completely different film. So this film is, like I say, it's easygoing. It's humorous from the outset. The first time he pulls up at the bowling alley, he climbs out of his car and he's emptying a piss bottle, you know. So you can see he spends a lot of time in his car straight away. The music is sort of, obviously it's country music. A lot of it's sung by Jeff Bridges himself, you can tell. And Colin Farrell turns up later on as another country singer who is now the big star of country. Jeff Bridges was his mentor, but now he's gone on to bigger things, and Jeff Bridges is taken by the wayside, and he gets a bit resentful with that relationship. But you get the idea there's been this big fight, but I think it's all in Jeff Bridges' head. When you finally meet Colin Farrell, he's got nothing but awe for Jeff Bridges, and I think he's trying to reach out and get Jeff Bridges to write some songs for him. You know, he's trying to help. Robert Duvall also turns up in the film as an old friend of Jeff Bridges, and their relationship it seems really authentic as well. Robert Duvall as well is trying to help Bridges sort of leave the demons of his past and the drink. But it's never a preachy film, you know, it's never sort of too far one way or the other. It's a nice sort of level feel to the film, really easy watching. It's funny to see in a non-speaking role the woman from Donnie Darko. I think she's like the leader of the dance troupe in that. She's like this real naggy sort of old hag of a woman. Well, in this she appears, she doesn't say anything, you just see her watching him sort of in awe in the audience, and then he finishes his show and then it cuts to the next morning in a motel room, and you see her asleep and him sneaking out back in the back behind. It's just some real comedy moments, and you can see the sort of life that he leads and the life that he is trying to leave behind. So yeah, I thought that was a really top film. I'd highly recommend that, Crazy Heart. I'll put a link in the description below in case anyone's interested in. And yeah, join me next week as we choose another film I own that I have not watched yet. Alright, take care and we'll see you all soon. Cheers.